Bonjour! Bonjour et bienvenue à la cuisine de Gaga. Welcome back to Gaga's Kitchen. You might be wondering why I was speaking French in the last cut that we just took, and it's because I have a little special surprise. This week we'll be making madeleines, which is a French butter cake for my little brother's bake sale on Monday. So today we're just testing out the recipe and seeing how things go. So typically you guys know that everything that I bake or cook in Gaga's Kitchen is usually 100% vegan, or I try to at least make it that way. But when I first originally set out to make this French recipe, I decided that I wasn't going to try to do that, since everything in French recipes have eggs or butter or something that's just not vegan. So I just kind of thought that there would be no way that I could really make it taste good, you know, and make it vegan. But then I kind of decided last minute to do a little experiment that I want to kind of prove that we can actually make it taste good. So today, the pan that I bought for the madeleines comes with 12. So we're going to be doing half vegan and half non-vegan, and then we're going to be doing a little taste test to see and compare the difference. So this should be fun. Come here, Diego. Hop up. And Diego's going to be joining us. Come here. Diego is going to be joining us in the kitchen today too. Isn't that right? Mwah. Let's get... Okay, so the first thing that we're going to need are 2 eggs. That's what the recipe calls for. So for the first half of the recipe, we're going to use 2 regular eggs. And then for the second part of the recipe, the other half, we're going to do 2 flax eggs instead. That's going to be the vegan version. And if you guys have watched some of my videos before, then you would have seen where I've made these before. Basically, a flax egg is just 1 tablespoon of flaxseed powder mixed with 3 tablespoons of warm water, and you let it sit for about 5 to 10 minutes. So that can substitute for an egg. It's a cruelty-free version of an egg for any recipe that you would typically make. Well, with baking at least. So the next ingredient that the recipe calls for is vanilla extract. We are using organic bourbon Madagascar vanilla extract. So it definitely has a nice little scent of bourbon. Yeah, so already vegan. We don't need to replace this with anything. Next, we're going to be using sea salt. I like the pink Himalayan sea salt. It's my favorite. I think it has the best flavor, especially for baking. It gives that nice little salty sweet kind of thing going on. But you could use any kind of salt that you wanted. Okay, so next we're gonna have 1/3 of a cup of sugar. So typically, I know you guys know that I will usually use something else like maple syrup or coconut sugar for most of my recipes, but we're just gonna go with the Live a Little Large today. We're gonna go with just that regular granulated white sugar. But look, it's vegan. All right, next we're gonna do 1 tablespoon of lemon zest. And let me tell you, my brother and I went to the grocery store earlier and we searched high and low to ensure that we found the perfect lemon for the zest. All right, so next we're gonna do 1/4 cup of butter. So for the non-vegan version, we just have regular unsalted butter. And then for the vegan version, we have Earth Balance butter. It's made from vegetable oil and several other things, but it is, for all the different options out there, it's the least processed and tastes the best, I think. So there we go. So I do just want to make it known that the eggs and the butter here, I did not purchase them. They were already at my dad's house, so you know, that's why we're using them. I will say that, especially over the past couple of months, I have been buying some non-vegan items a little bit more. So it's not about being perfect, guys. You don't have to just go 100% vegan overnight. A lot of people, it kind of takes a little time to get used to everything, but I think that with more and more time, especially when you educate yourself more, it becomes a lot easier. So just for example, I was actually at the grocery store yesterday and I had bought some pasta and some different vegetables and things like that to do a vegetable pasta. And I really wanted some Parmesan cheese to go on there, so I went and actually picked it up off the shelf and I put it in my cart and I walked away. And then as I was walking away, all I could just envision was just a baby cow being ripped from its mother minutes after it was born, which is just sickening to even think about. So, you know, I actually ended up going and putting it back on the shelf. Sorry, my brother's making fun of me right now, but this is a serious topic. So I actually ended up going and putting it back on the shelf, and then I went over to, they have a vegan section at Whole Foods, and I went over there and they actually had a Parmesan cheese that's made from different kinds of nuts and things like that, and it tastes and looks exactly the same. It's not highly processed. It doesn't have a bunch of, you know, BS ingredients in there that you can't pronounce. And there's actually a lot of really good options out there that are good for you, they're better for you, and they don't exploit the innocent lives of baby animals. So I'm just gonna leave that for you there, and we'll kind of get back to the rest of the cooking and make this a little bit more upbeat. All right, so let's get this party started. So first things first, we're gonna preheat the oven to 375 degrees, and then we also need to go ahead and oil the pan that the madeleines are going to go into. But since it's brand new, I'm going to wash it first. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to actually melt the butter, and then we'll wash this while the butter is cooling. All right, so I've got the two different bowls started. On this side, we got the regular butter that we're going to melt, and a 1/4 cup of the earth balance in this bowl that we're going to melt also. So just going to pop this in the microwave. I hope that is okay to go in the microwave. Okay, so it turns out you're actually not supposed to put metal bowls in the microwave, so I just switched it to another bowl. It's probably another about 10 seconds or so. All right, we got both of them melted. So now while this is cooling to room temperature, I'm gonna go ahead and wash the pan since I just got it today and it is filthy and needs to be washed. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and butter and flour the molds, and I'm gonna go ahead and just use the earth balance for all of them to keep all of them safe. So yeah, this is just gonna make sure that they don't stick to the pan once they bake. And now I'm just going to sprinkle it with a little flour. I am using gluten-free flour, but you can use whatever. You can obviously use regular flour. That is what the French people would probably use. This is just what I already had in my little baking corner at my dad's house. All right, that should be good. Okay, so I realized that we actually didn't need a full 1/4 cup of butter in each one because they we're doing half and half. We're splitting the recipe in half. So I now made sure that there's just 1/8 of a cup in each bowl. So now we're going to do 1 egg in each, and then half of 3/4 of a teaspoon of vanilla, and then half of 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt. So for the vanilla, we're gonna do 1/4 teaspoon and then 1/8 of a teaspoon on top of that in each bowl. Well, that's a little bit more, but that's okay because vanilla just makes everything taste better. Okay, so then the recipe calls for 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt, so I'm going to split that up between the two bowls, so it will probably be about 2 turns per bowl, I would say. Three turns to be safe. Okay, so now I'm going to do 1 egg in this bowl. So just crack 1 egg in there. And then I'm going to go ahead and beat that up. Beat it up real hard with a whisk. And then in this bowl, I will be adding the flax egg, which again was just 1 tablespoon of flaxseed powder and then 3 tablespoons of water, which I then set it in the refrigerator to kind of just, I think it makes it set a little bit more quickly when I do that. And I'm just going to do the same thing with this. And you want to make sure you're doing it really hard so that it all combines really well. Vanilla smells so good, oh my goodness. Alright, so now you can see that they're both looking a little different right now. So it'll be interesting to see how they compare when they come out of the oven. Okay, so now I'm going to do about 1/8 of a cup of sugar in each bowl, and then we're going to beat it in there. I don't have an electric mixer, so it's going to be a little bit different because the recipe actually calls for an electric mixer. So I'm going to try to do it with my hand, so it should be interesting. Okay. Alright, so now I'm just going to beat this until it's thick, and it says until ribbons form, which my hand cannot physically go as fast as an electric mixer, so we're just going to kind of beat it until it's all like mixed up in there basically. My hand cannot physically go as fast as an electric mixer. Oh! Alright, that's as good as it's going to get on that one. My arm is exhausted and we still have to do the other one. So if the vegan one is not as good as the other one, it's not because it's vegan, it's because my arm was too tired. So here we go. Oh my goodness. Alrighty. Alright, so now 1/4 cup of flour is going to go into each bowl. Perfect. Alright, so same thing, we're now going to mix these up. So, until it's all formed in there. Wow, this looks really good. It almost looks like icing. Alrighty. Pretty good. Now I'm going to do the other one. Oh yeah. So now I'm just washing the lemon. Since we're going to be putting lemon zest into this, we want to make sure that it's clean on the outside. So wash that, and then we're going to put 1/2 of a tablespoon of lemon zest into each bowl. Alright, so I have this nifty little zester machine that I think I just bought this at Kroger, so you can pretty much get it just at any grocery store. But it makes it really easy to get the zest off of fruits. You could also use it as a shredder to shred, you know, carrots or any kind of vegetable that you wanted to do. And see, then look, it just all comes out on the bottom like that. Alright, so let's see, 1/2 of a tablespoon. That's about 1/2 of a tablespoon actually. Oops. So I'm going to need to do a little bit more. Alright. So I'm just going to mix these in, and then we're going to spoon the batter into the pan. I'm going to go ahead and try this because there's no raw eggs in there. Whoa. That's actually really good. Huh? That's another great thing about being vegan is you can actually eat all the batter of the things that you make without having to worry about if, you know, eating raw eggs. Alright, so now I'm just pouring this into the pan. It actually looks like it might be less Like the recipe might actually make less than this whole pan, but we'll see. Okay, so it's good to know that this recipe actually makes about 10 madeleines. So as you can see, we got the 2 different kinds, and we're gonna stick these in the oven now for 17 minutes. And while they're baking, I'll go ahead and clean up, and then they should be ready by the time I'm done cleaning. So here we go. Whew, so now that the dishes are done, let me tell you, it always pays off to just do the dishes while the stuff is in the oven, because you won't have to do it later. And you're waiting anyway. Especially after you eat a sweet, you're not going to want to do the dishes after that. So just a little trick. So we have a couple more minutes, about 5 or so more minutes on the madeleines in the oven. So I forgot to mention earlier that this wasn't part of the recipe, but since, you know, chocolate makes everything better, we're going to melt some chocolate and drizzle it over the top, and it's going to make them excellent. Oh, stretching is amazing. If you don't do it every day, you should. I don't do it every day, and I should. Ooh, feels good. These hammies are definitely pretty tight. I'm gonna stretch them out. Get the other side. These pants are not good for doing this. Ooh, man. Oh yeah, look at Diego. He's getting his stretch on too. Good boy. They're almost ready. I'm so excited. Woo! Alrighty. Okay. Oh wow. These look delicious. These turned out really well. Alright, so I'm going to give these a few minutes to cool. We're going to transfer them to the plate, melt some of that dark chocolate, and just drizzle it all over all of them. So I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit of granulated sugar over the top to let them melt into it. They smell so good. The lemon zest is, Alright, so that, there we go, and I'm melting the chocolate now. Can you tell which ones are vegan? Bet you can! Oh, this might take a little bit longer to...
Yeah!
Oh yeah! Chocolate just makes everything better, doesn't it? And don't worry, this is dark chocolate. It's vegan. No animals were harmed. And look how pretty that looks. It's so easy. So tonight we have a guest star. This is my little brother Sebastian. He's going to be trying one of each. He has no idea which one is which. And he's going to tell us, he's going to do a little taste test for us. So here we go.
Mmm. That is good. Okay. Round 2. Also very good. I think I'm gonna have to go with the regular one, unfortunately. But this is still a good alternative.
Do you have any last words for anybody who is considering going vegan, or do you have any comments about your own vegan path, or if you ever considered it, or what? How do you feel?
No, I've never really considered being vegan. Everything tastes like shit.
He's just saying that.
I'm just kidding. I love quinoa.
Alright, so here we go. Now I get to try. That is really good. Whoa, that one might be one of the better things I've made, honestly.
Yeah,
it's
those
like
are so
crispy
good.
on the outside, the lemon zest with the chocolate drizzle. It's baked perfectly through. Wow. Yeah. So I would definitely recommend, and I think these are going to be a great hit at the bake sale. Okay guys, so that was it for Gaga's Kitchen tonight. If you want to see more videos like this, please let me know. I love creating new recipes for you guys. So yeah, if you just let me know in the comments below what you want to see me make, or if you want me to switch it up a little bit. I know I do mostly baking. Just let me know what you want to see. And yeah, so I'll see you guys in the next video. Au revoir!
Hi.